behind the scenes is where your team is working tirelessly, and they're the ones that are actually going to help deliver the experience. So if you don't pour into your team and hire the right team, then that could really make or break your event.
Today, we are sharing the secrets of planning a great event, and we're joined by TASHA WHITE, aka the Vanguardian. My name is Monickie Scott.
Hey, and this is your girl, Felina B. Flossin. Thank you for joining us. Hey, remember to subscribe and comment below on your biggest takeaway from today's topic, or feel free to share your expertise. Hello, Tasha. Welcome back to the 5-Star Living Show.
Hello, ladies. I am so honored to be here with you guys. This is a great way to start the year with some powerful women on this screen right now. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure to have you. So, hey, let's talk event planning. Okay.
Let's talk.
You ready? Okay. What are some key elements to planning an amazing event?
Oh my gosh. Right off the top, and this comes from the experience, but right off the top, what I want to give people today is the team. Invest in your team. A lot of times we as event planners or event producers, we focus in on, I got to get the venue. I got to get the money. I got to get the sponsors. Okay, who's representing you? Who's going to represent you at this event? Who's going to be you at the event with the highest representation? Because behind the scenes is where your team is working tirelessly, and they're the ones that are actually going to help deliver the experience. So if you don't pour into your team and hire the right team, then that could really make or break your event. So really pouring into your team, I think that's so important. And again, I didn't acquire that information just overnight. Like, it took me working with some failing teams and, putting together some failing teams to know that I need to really focus on my team, because you're only as strong as your team, and your team represents you. So to me, pour into your team. That's the biggest tip.
Excellent.
You just mentioned that you had to go through this a few times to learn that. I want to talk about those few times. What qualifies you as an expert in this space, and why do they call you the Vanguardian?
Well, I'll start there. I self-acquired the name the Vanguardian because the root word is Vanguard, and Vanguard means in the forefront of action and movement. It's actually a military term, the Vanguard. I believe I'm not sure which form of military, but it is a military term, and it does mean you're in the forefront of action and movement. And so throughout my career as an event planner, producer, coordinator, because I've worn all those titles, and they are different. Just so you guys know, they are different. But throughout my whole process in my career, I've always been the forefront of action and movement. Like, I get a jump on it early on. Like in the late 90s, when I first moved to Las Vegas, Vegas didn't have nightclubs in the casinos. This is when we had Club Utopia and 30 something and all those different nightclubs. So I came in and, we rented out a nightclub, and we brought tons of celebrities and the Billboard Music Awards after party. And I think, Nikki, that's probably when I first really met you guys trying to, promote. But in that space, I was in the forefront of action and movement then. Like, celebrities weren't coming to the nightclubs out here like on a norm for free. You know what I'm saying? So that took a little intimate connection, but I was able to get in front of things before people knew it was even happening. So that was where I was able to win. So, and that takes place in research, you know what I'm saying? Research, knowing your industry, knowing what's coming before the trends that are setting, really doing research, knowledge, connection, like all of this plays a part in being the forefront of action and movement in whatever lane you're in business. Mine just happens to be the event space. And so that aligns a little bit with your question as far as what makes me the expert. Well, for me, experience, so busting my head a few times, quite a few failures, working with some winning teams and working with some losing teams, like all of that was a part of my experience. And then knowledge, comes from experience, right? You don't really know anything until you've actually really went through it. And then taking out what I want to keep and implementing we're taking out what I don't want and implementing what I do want. And then the last part of that would just be more so like, I have a note here, constant research. Like as many events as I produce, I have to go to events as well and sit as an attendee and kind of read the room and see what's trending and what's not trending, i.e., we're in a virtual space right now. So, renting places and getting people to congregate in a venue is not really where it's at right now because people aren't feeling safe. So we're going to have to pivot. And so how do we pivot? We got to get in front of it. We got to create something. We got to be innovative. And, with that, that's what makes me an experienced person. Not to mention, I have been doing this for 26 years. My husband reminded me that today. I said 26 years. And I was like, okay. Well, and I got a big rocket in my pocket right now to celebrate these 26 years. So it's all good.
Yes. And what better person to have at your event than someone who has been through the ups, the downs, the goods, and the bads, because you more than likely know what to let people watch for, what not to do. Let me ask you this: who should hire an event planner and who should not?
Great question. That is a wonderful question. Well, first of all, you don't become an event planner because you know how to do a baby shower or a birthday party, things of that nature. And a lot of times people feel that if they do a really nice birthday party, they organize it, that they're automatically an event planner. That's not true. I mean, you know how to plan a party and that's cool, but there's a lot of research and history you have to build up for yourself, right? So when you are looking to do an event, and I really look at the magnitude of your event, if it's an intimate birthday party or some type of celebration like that, and you feel you can gather the people and not be stressed out, then that's fine. But 9 times out of 10, who's ever putting those events together, even if it's a baby shower or birthday party, to a conference, to, a celebrity party, etc., like whatever magnitude it is, if you don't want to be stressed out, you better hire an event planner. Because that's the key that we need. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We're put in these high function roles and we do this stuff. We're equipped to think on our feet. So if you want to have a good time at your event, I advise you to hire an event planner. And there's levels to it. So there's event planning, there's event producers, there's people that can actually do it from concept to creation to the actual event. That's one line of business. And there's ones that just come in to handle the logistics of your event. There's some that they just want you to come in and decorate your event. So there's different levels to it, and understand that when you're hiring an event person for your event. So yeah.
Love that.
If you don't want to be stressed, hire an event planner.
That's the perfect answer right there.
Absolutely. You definitely touched on my next question, but if we can expound a little bit more, besides your fee, what are other costs associated with planning an event that people may be surprised about if there's their first large event?
Oh, girl, you have to budget for AV. I think audiovisual is very, very important. I do a lot of conferences, and that's really important because you bring speakers in, right? And you put them on the stage, and if their microphones are not working, or if they're static, or if their computer isn't lining up with, all their audio visual, that is so important. That is a pretty large expense when it comes to doing your budget, but it's an important one. I think that you should definitely spend money on audio visual, because whoever you're putting on that platform, you want them to look and feel good about their presentation and be able to be heard to the attendees. And I want to throw this in too. Be comfortable about the talent that you hire as well, and who you put on that stage, because I also book talent and speakers. So the worst thing that I could do is book a speaker in front of an audience that their messaging will not resonate with. We're doing a health and wellness conference. I'm not going to bring a a tobacco person to speak, right?
Right.
At a health and wellness conference. A lot of times these major speaker bureaus, that's what they do. They just want to get the commission. Hey, they're interested in you. You have a famous name, we want to put you on stage, and boom. And then there's no resonation there. There's the audience is disappointed, or even the speaker is disappointed because they did not connect. So I think that's one of my superpowers when it comes to this event space, is knowing how to place a speaker or a talent in front of the right audience. And so again, that takes research and experience to even get to that space.
Okay, so how do we qualify such an event player? Like, what things should we look for in our search for a good one? Or what are some red flags?
Okay, great question again. What you should look for, obviously, I would definitely do recommendations. LinkedIn, people, I know when I talk to people, a lot of times they want to connect with me afterwards or say, oh my God, you really made me feel great about this event, or how can I hire you, or whatever. I was like, oh, great. You had a great experience. Wonderful. Whether it's my speaker, whether it's the person I'm doing a contract with, or an attendee, I always send to my LinkedIn because there people can actually write on their experience working with me. So it's listed there. So you can see what different capacities I worked in the event space. Definitely referrals. Oh my gosh, you did this event, or find out who did an event that you went to and where it may have been seamless, or it was a great experience that was delivered. Find out who was the organizer behind that. And of course, I don't want you looking anywhere else, girl. I want you to go to Vanguardianglobal.com and contact the Vanguards, and we come produce your event. But if you just have to know.
Absolutely. That's off the top.
Absolutely.
So you talked a little bit earlier about your team and staffing an event. And I have done a lot of events. I'm not an event planner, but I've worked behind the scenes in a lot of events. I've done some stage managing. You said a team can make or break your event. I see people using mama and them, and that's all good. And mama and them is volunteering and really don't have the experience. What do you say on this subject? Can it work? And if so, how do you make it work?
Okay. So I am guilty of that. I have hired mom and them in the very beginning of my career, and my mom and them know, but everybody's mom and them don't know, right? So you're working for me. And you're working for this event, and that needs to be established from the beginning. So a lot of times when you get volunteers or the homeboys, homegirls, mom and them, they so excited because you're doing this event and they're in at the event and they get to see all the celebrities or all the people. They get distracted of what their actual role is to be at this event, right? Everybody wants to be in the room, but some of the workers can't be in the room and maintain the front desk or the registration or working with the sponsors, so you got to definitely bring in qualified people. For me, I am a certified DISC practitioner. So a lot of times when I'm putting my teams together, I have them take an assessment, because then that lets me know, they say they want to work with me, great. But then that lets me know when they take the assessment, where they place. Is this person an outgoing person? Will this person speak to everyone? If that's a person that is an assessment there, and they're that type of person, then I'm going to put them in the front. I'm going to put them at registration. They're not afraid to talk to people. They're comfortable engaging. So I'm going to make sure those people are in either the front of the room or working, greeting people at the door. Now, if their assessment comes back and they're more behind the scenes, kind of like to be low key, but they're great at what they do, then I'll place them maybe, from behind the scenes in a space where they're not going to be engaging with the attendees, right? So it's really, really important. And I also try to focus on people that want to be in the event space, because that way, if they're coming as a volunteer, they know that a recommendation from me is going to go far, and they're going to want to give above and beyond. They're going to want to be there. So that's what you really want, people that want to be there and also want to put skin in the game, because they can get a recommendation. They can meet other people. They can align with other people, doing other events, and they can also get a chance to come back and continue to do events with me. So those are the things that I look for.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
I love the assessment.
Yeah, girl, it helps. It helps in business. It helps with team building. It helps even with relationships. really, since the pandemic, this assessment has really been helping people like interact at home, because you're not together. Sometimes you're not together 6 to 8 hours a day, right? And I know for me and Gavin, girl, when we first took the assessment, when we were first home during the pandemic, like every day, when we travel a lot, we were at each other's throats and we didn't understand why, right? But when we took the assessment, we were like, okay, well, these are his needs and these are his wants. These are my needs and my wants. These are my deal breakers or things that I don't want to, budge on, but these are areas that I will budge on. So you really learn what your communication style is, and that is your superpower. So if you know how to communicate with somebody, then it's a seamless relationship. So when you do the assessment and you're about to do an event with me, and I know what you're capable of, and I know what your space is, you're in a comfortable space. I placed you in a comfortable space where it's in your wheelhouse. So I wouldn't put someone who's maybe a high C, which is more of a conscientious person, in the front, because they might be worrying about, they might not be there with their confidence, right? When they may not know how to pivot right off the top and make a person feel great. Whereas a high I, who's an influencer, who's great at sales, who's great at keeping the upbeat, who knows how to pivot in the middle of the event, that's the person that I'm going to put, the person that scores highest in that space for I'll put them in the front, because I know they're not going to be afraid to greet people. And, even if it's a situation that comes to them and it throws them off guard, they're going to know how to spin it and put their personality into it to make those people feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, my job and my team's job is to deliver an experience. If you got a great experience, you'll come back. There may be hiccups behind the scenes, but if you got a great experience delivered, then I'm going to keep coming, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a bad experience, and I've had those situations where, it's been a bad experience and I couldn't bring that person back, or based on their disc, once I did do their disc, I just placed them in a different space where they were more comfortable and they could flourish. Because at this place where we're at right now, y'all, we have to we take chances. We got to give chances. We got to understand where people are. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's happened. You don't know what's going on at home. You don't know, who they lost, who, what's in their life right now. And we have to, and I think the assessment helps, because the assessment changes also. It's not always the same. People that may have taken an assessment 6 months ago and their lives have been changed upside down, and they take another one this time, their assessments may read completely different. Right. So it's important to continue to take the assessments to just see where you are. And again, it's for me when I'm hiring you, but it's really for you, because you can know where you are and you'll know, okay, well, I might need to work on this, or I feel this way or that way, or etc. My voice.
Absolutely.
That is so interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone doing that for an event planning. So what a great skill and a great opportunity someone has to work with you, and that you're going to put them in the right place, because so many times, people just stick people anywhere. They just want a warm body. And knowing that you actually take the time to stick them where they can flourish and help your event, or help the event be a better experience, that is just phenomenal. Kudos to you.
Girl, I'm about to turn 50, right? And I feel like this 26 years of blood, sweat, and tears when it comes to putting events together and loving what I do, there comes a time when, you want to pay it back and, not cut off people because they don't do a great job. Find out why they're not doing a great job and pour into them, right? That's what we're not doing. People just, they were terrible and we're going to fire them, move on. Well, how are we going to change? Make change in anyone's life if we don't pour into them and share with them, and give them a real debriefing, I'm saying, okay, well, this worked and this didn't work. But I'm willing to continue to work with you. And this is how, and then, it really becomes more mentoring and coaching as well. So it's a great tool. I don't just use it in my event space. I use it across the board with family. I encourage other people, if they want to know more about this, they can contact me again, Vanguardianglobal@gmail.com.
Just about to say, I was like, Tasha, you've given us event planning 101. We're going to have you back for event planning 202.
Yes.
I got that for you.
So once again, share with our listeners how they can find you online.
Great. Well, I have Tasha Robinson White. I'm Tasha Talks on Instagram. I'm just Tasha Robinson White on Facebook. I have a actual page, a like page, and I also have a regular page. It's still Tasha Robinson White, same picture. So just follow them both and connect with me, and I would love to. Vanguardian Global at gmail.com. I am building up the social media for Vanguardian Global. So there is a Vanguardian Global Instagram and Facebook as well. I'm just kind of building that one up this year, kind of focusing on it a little bit, but you just reach out any of those platforms. I'm definitely willing to communicate, talk. Like, I'm not one of those that don't communicate and talk and get back. Sometimes it takes me a little while, but I try to answer all my messages because you never know who is on the other side of that email. You know what I'm saying? That can really, even a conversation that we can connect with, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wow, Tasha, thank you so much. You are beyond amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Hey, we thank you all for listening, liking, and subscribing. We believe in you and wish you success in your 5-star living journey.
Join us on Facebook in the 5-Star Living Show Inner Circle group. And remember, laugh more and love more while taking care of your mind, body, and soul.
Yes, the 5-Star Living Show is sponsored in part by FlossieB.com, Flossie Flicks Photography, Monickie.com, Flossie Locks, and Meditate with Mo. Until next time, keep 5-star living.
That's right. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.